This portion of the news brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
The National Emergency Management Agency partially put their plan into play today as hurricane and the possibility of Hurricane Erica, Tropical Storm Erica, threatened the Bahamas, especially in the south, and they tried to think that it may come here towards the central Bahamas as the trek continues to move it towards the northern Bahamas. At NEMA's headquarters on Gladstone Road, that's where we find our own Sieska Adley as they are getting ready for what could be post-Erica. Sieska.
Good evening, Chris. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm here at NEMA's headquarters located on Gladstone Road, where officials are closely monitoring the movements of Tropical Storm Erica. Now, as of yesterday evening around 6:30, NEMA was partially activated. And so here we have live with us NEMA's director, Captain Stephen Russell. Captain Stephen Russell, good evening.
Good evening, Bahamas. Yes, ladies, we're continuing here at NEMA's office here on Gladstone Road and NEMA Way to continue to monitor the movements of Tropical Storm Erica. Again, we are pleased how it is moving to the west of Hispaniola, that is Dominican Republic and Haiti, along its western track. It has now increased its forward speed to some 21 miles per hour. That's an increase of over 4 miles per hour since this morning. So we really must monitor it as it makes its move. It is anticipated the system may come across the Hispaniola and even the eastern tip of Cuba. So we're concerned as to when it comes over, where it would really end up tomorrow. Whether it's off one of our coasts at Inagua, we have Regged Island, and then the whole of Andros in its wake as it moves along the northern coast of Cuba. So we have made initial contact with the administrators in Regged Island and sections of Andros to make sure they're aware of how the system is moving and the speed it is moving on, so they can make sure that they're taking the necessary precautions if anything changes during the course of the night and early morning with this particular system. But we're here at NEMA. We'll continue to monitor it overnight, early mornings, and we'll advise administrators as necessary if there are any major changes during the course of the night.
Okay, so what does it mean for operations here at NEMA in the coming hours and days?
Again, no need to fully activate based on the location of the storm at this time. We'll just maintain a partial activation phase where we have key staff on call here. Again, just tracking and monitoring and staying in contact with our administrators just in case there are any changes. That's all we can do at this time, just watch, observe, and advise and stay in contact with our administrators accordingly.
So at this point, there's no need for major concern then?
No, at this time, no need for major concern, but we are mindful of our partners in Haiti and the Dominican Republic. We know when these tropical storms come across the mountains of Haiti, because the mountainous terrain can result in mudslides and can have some injuries and fatalities in our partner state, Haiti. So we are concerned, and we pray for them at this time that they will pass through the storm safe. And as the storm comes over, we pray that it is disintegrated or breaking up so that it poses no great harm to the Bahamas territory.
Is there anything else you want to share, Captain Russell?
We continue to urge all of our residents throughout the Bahamas, again, like I said, the Inagua area, the Regged Island area, the Andros area, to be vigilant, again, to continue to monitor the system to see how it comes across our area and how it may impact us until it really leaves the Bahamas and we get the all clear from the Department of Meteorology. We must remain vigilant about how the system moves.
Thank you so much, Captain Russell. Well, there you have it. NEMA is still partially activated. There's no cause for major concern, but they're still monitoring the movements of Tropical Storm Erica. And that's the latest here from NEMA. Back to you in the studio.
All right, Sieska, thanks a lot. Now, the islands in the southern Bahamas were the first to expect a hit from Tropical Storm Erica. One of those islands, one of that island chains, Turks and Caicos, the House Speaker there is the Honorable Robert Hall.
I reside in Grand Turk, and I can speak for what I've seen here, and I have no doubt that people throughout the Turks and Caicos Islands, as they get information on the storm, have taken the necessary precautions. But here in Grand Turk, I've seen people stocking up on certain supplies. I've seen them boarding up and some filling sandbags and so on. And so I have all reason to believe that they are fully prepared. general feeling here, though, is that we'll mainly get some rain from that.
In terms of the weather, how would you say the weather, what impact is it having on you at this time, sir?
I've seen the seas beginning to rise a bit, the wind gaining strength, and it's cloudy, overcast with a little intermittent rain. I suppose things will intensify later on. At least we're, bracing for that.
You would say generally the Turks and Caicos Islands would be prepared for the storm?
Oh, yes. I mean, I don't think anybody here will let their guards down. Every time we talk about storms, we will remember Hurricane Ike. And so I feel everybody will really be prepared for this one.
The islands of Andros is expected to get some rain as Erica moves through. More conditions there. Here's that island administrator, Gregory Knowles.
But so far we are, I should just say, fully prepared. We have all our shelters ready. We have our shelter managers ready and prepared. Once we get any warning, be it from NEMO or through the media, we're ready to open them up and get gas. Throughout the day, we had people just making sure that the places and their property was protected. Food stores were packed. People just purchasing what needs to be purchased, water and all the other food products. And all our government buildings are properly secured. So we're really preparing ourselves for whatever is to come.
Bimini residents say they are still on guard for Tropical Storm Erica. We talked to Island Administrator Oscar Monroe.
In Bimini, we are in a state of readiness. We would have had several meetings starting on a daily basis from last week, Friday. We would have assembled all of our emergency workers and had them check their different areas, and we had a final report today. And everything is now in a state of readiness. The sky is clear on the outside. It's not really sunny, but it's bright. The seas are calm, and just a gentle breeze at the moment. 4 shelters on the island of Bimini, all on North Bimini. We have the Gateway Gymnasium. We have the former Bimini Clinic, which was newly renovated. We have the BUB Hall, and we also have access to Bay Game Hotel and Marina. We would have met, like I said, in our small group as far as our emergency management team is concerned, and we would have brought in all the stakeholders. We would have contacted them and asked them we would explain what our disaster management plan is and ask them to give their individual plans for their properties and to make sure that it is in step with our plans. And we would have done that. We would have find out who the contact persons are, their command center, how many people on property, and seeing what kind of tools and equipment they have, and see how we can distribute it throughout the island if needed.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Tropical Storm Erica has put a damper on travel plans, not only locally but also internationally. Julian Gibson headed down to the Lynden Pinland International Airport today to find out exactly what impact she had.
Family Island residents heading out from LPIA today, anxious to get back to their various destinations before the approach of Tropical Storm Erica.
I come from all the way New York. Me and my family, we travel from New York, and right now the main thing right now is getting home.
Any preparations your family making?
That's why we're going home now to deal with the preparation, to deal with our home and whatnot.
It is what it is.
You made any preparations, or are you waiting to get home to make your preparation?
My preparation was done from last year. My windows about it, everything is done.
We just want to make it home. It's always to be better home than out when the storm traveling.
So you're trying to get out of Nassau and get into Abaco?
And get into Abaco, yes, in the comfort of our own home. Yeah.
Now for Laurelyn Martin Smith, she really wants to get back to Exuma because she's concerned about the flooding.
No doubt between AID, that low-lying area, and especially in the forest Exuma, we could expect persons to be trapped within their homes and so forth. because just a little rainfall, this usually happens. Imagine if there's extreme damage from Erica.
When you left Exuma, anybody was doing any kind of preparation?
Yes, there were persons doing preparations on business places as well as their private homes.
Reporting for the ZNS News Network, I'm Julian Gibson.
Sky Bahamas says it's watching the weather before making any adjustments to its flight schedule. Sky CEO Captain Randy Butler says that if any changes will be made, they won't start until the weekend starts tomorrow.
At this time, all our flights are going. We're continuing to watch the weather and how it progresses. I think Saturday may be the telling time a little bit, start with canceling the flights to the southeastern islands, but all our flights right now are on schedule today and tomorrow morning throughout the afternoon, unless something changes overnight.
Officials from the Red Cross and the Great Commission's ministry say they would be ready to assist if the storm passes this way. LaDawn Davis got a chance to hit both today as those philanthropic organizations prepare to weather the storm.
The Red Cross is indeed prepared. We don't just wait for storms to come. It's really our mandate.
Director General of the Bahamas Red Cross, Caroline Turnquest, says the Emergency Operations Center is now partially activated and a disaster team and plan is in place to tackle everything Tropical Storm Erica brings with her over the next few days. Turnquest says assisting after natural disasters is nothing new for the Red Cross and told us that they are fully ready to assist those impacted.
As part of the NEMA team is to provide relief supplies, relief in terms of food, clothing, and volunteers, if it comes to that. But in terms of houses being damaged, that would be NEMA's role in conjunction with the Ministry of Works. And we are to provide relief items for individuals. We have group leaders in the family violence, and on a number of the islands, we have trained what we call CERT teams, community emergency response teams, who are able to do the initial damage and assessment for us on the ground and relate to us as to what the needs are.
Bishop Walter Hanschel of Great Commission Ministry says they are working closely with NEMA and is encouraging all Bahamians to not take the storm for granted. In fact, he says they should take full advantage of all designated shelters.
I've noticed throughout Nassau that people have not really battened up, and many people are not getting the supplies that they should. I think some of us have been too casual with this storm. So I'm recommending that everybody take it extremely seriously. Persons have already died from this storm. I'm told that there's going to be severe flooding. So if you need to use a shelter, get into a shelter. At Great Commission Ministries, we have shelters that we can help persons with after the storm. We have supplies that we might be able to help persons with.
While all of these civic organizations have their challenges assisting the poor, they are still able to respond to the needs of those who need it most. Meanwhile, if you need further assistance, you can download the Red Cross app to your smartphone for more information. LaDawn Davis, ZNS Network News.
The workload at one of the leading bakeries in the country has definitely intensified. As we hear from Kelsey Johnson tonight, she tells us just how they were able to meet the demands of their loyal customers.
Bahamians stormed Purity Bakery hoping to purchase freshly baked bread ahead of Tropical Storm Erica. The bakery was able to supply the needs of all of their customers despite the increase in demand since the initial notice of the tropical storm.
For the past 3 days from Wednesday, there was a spike in the number of persons that passed through Purity Bakery doors. But like I said on numerous occasions, Purity Bakery is able to rise to the occasion to supply bread to the Bahamas at large. Even as I'm talking to you now, production is going. We have been going round the clock for the past 36 hours. And as long as there is a need, Purity Bakery will definitely supply this community with bread, as we always do. As a matter of fact, we was open as we usually do from 7, and we will remain open until the need is supplied. But like I said, it's slow now, but for the past 3 days, we have seen in excess of 1,500 customers pass through these stores, and we were able to supply the demand.
And if you're wondering just how the bakery was able to meet the growing demand and supply the Oda family islands, Marshall explains.
We have about 50 other persons in terms of the production team, the inventory team. So we have a full complement on staff. We have about 17 routes. In addition to, we have 3 supervisors, as well as we have already catered to most of our Family Island customers, because you know Purity Bakery ship out a lot of bread to our Family Island customers. So on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we shipped out thousands of loaves of bread to our customers. We just want to make sure everybody is satisfied, and we appreciate their loyalty, so we want to not let them down in this time of need.
The bakery usually produces some 120 units of bread per week, and this week the numbers have skyrocketed. The biggest sellers were the Roman meal and the special blend white.
On a daily basis, it's about 30,000 loaves of bread baked every day, but for the past 2 days, we have baked in excess of 30,000 loaves of bread.
Kelsey Johnson, ZNS Network News.
All right, Kelsey, thanks a lot. Now, as the watches, warnings, and alerts were issued, many residents in the capital seemed not to pay close attention and were possibly waiting last minute to secure their homes. Cleopatra Murphy spoke with several business persons who gave their assessments of preparations locally.
Aside from normal sales at Tops Lumber and Plumbing, General Manager Raymond Collins says up to Thursday, there was no rush by residents to purchase supplies to hurricane-proof their homes ahead of Tropical Storm Erica's arrival. Continuing a usual pattern, Collins expects sales to pick up once the storm nears.
Sometimes, you know, the day of the storm, you come out here and the road is just jam-packed with cars. You can hardly get here to open up the business. That happened during Floyd. But it's always the last minute.
Government, on the other hand, he says, made a huge purchase of raincoats, flashlights, batteries, and other necessities to deliver to the Family Islands. After the storm, Collins says shingles will be in high demand.
I have to start taking and putting them aside with people's names on them, otherwise they get sold. You know, they get sold twice. So you have to pull them off the shelf, put them aside, and put them out of the way.
Premier Importer Sales Manager Daniel Lita says the company has experienced an uptick in deliveries, but expects most residents to wait until the last minute. Lita says the company has an ample supply of goods to protect the home and make repairs after, including plywood of different sizes. He says last-minute shoppers can encounter challenges, so he encourages residents to make the necessary purchases.
If I would advise the public to have at least a couple sheets on hand, because some homes are very, very large and need more coverage than others, I would say, just like how you buy water and supplies and batteries, it would make sense to buy a couple supplies have them on hand, store them somewhere, and I would just suggest that everyone prepare accordingly.
Over at Kelly's, Nicola Sobey says customers have been shopping well in advance of the storm for batteries, LED lamps, and other essentials. But one item that is becoming more popular are generators.
The Champion generator with 5,500 watts is a very popular one because this one in particular, like I said, it can support more appliances. Persons don't just want to have the refrigerator running anymore. They would still like to use the TV or the laptop and maybe a few lamps in the house. So this one here in particular can support a lot more appliances than maybe the other generators.
Store representatives are urging residents to do everything they must to be prepared and come out of the storm unharmed. Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
Tonight was supposed to be the grand finale for the Goombay Summer Festival. However, Erica has caused that to change. Artists like Veronica Bishops, Toledo, and D-Mac were set to perform, but you'll have to wait until a later date for that. In a release issued today, tourism officials also say that Eleuthera's Summer Festival, set for tomorrow, has been put off as well. An announcement regarding the grand finale will be made at a later date. Now, Erica also impacting the schedule at the Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institute, or BTVI. We're told student registration ended at noon today. They'll pick back up on Wednesday of next week. BTVI says all staff should report to work on Tuesday. Classes start on Wednesday. Well, we're still live with continuing coverage of Hurricane Erica right here at ZNS. We have our eye on Erica. We'll be right back.